Hey, it's Aaryn. It is January 28th, 2011. Well, 29th now. It's like 5 in the morning. I've been up all night. Anyway, not for any particular reason, just whatever, nothing else to do. So, anyway, I'm going to try and speak up because I have issues with that, in these videos. Uh, I'm also going to try not to move around too much. I had too much coffee. So I wanted to read some of my letter that I wrote to my mom to come out, and if I have time, also the letter that I wrote to my close friend to come out, parts of it, um, at least. So I'm gonna, yeah, I'll just start. Um, my mom knows that I'm a nervous wreck and that I can't express myself well unless I write it down. So she wasn't surprised when I handed her a letter. But I had talked to her, as I mentioned in the last video about my mom. That I did talk to her a while ago about questioning my gender and feeling like, what if I had been born a boy, kind of thing. But we didn't talk about it again after that for a year and a half until now. So here's part of it. It says, I talked to you a while ago. Oh, by the way, obviously my relationship with my mother and my experience and who I am is going to be way different from other people. But hopefully maybe this will like help to give somebody a little bit of a, I don't know, an idea of what I wrote and what helped a little bit at least for me. Because, I mean, while she was not very accepting of the whole concept, she did understand and she did believe me. She did. She said that I I know what you mean, and I see that in you. So it's a start. I talked to you a while ago about my feelings relating to my gender. I've always I've always been uncomfortable with my body, as most teenage girls are. I overcompensated a lot trying to learn to love myself as female. I got a lot of compliments, which was all well, but I felt more uncomfortable than ever when I looked at myself in the mirror. I have always been true to my personality, both the masculine and feminine traits, but I have always felt that I'm putting on a costume, mimicking mannerisms to try to embrace being in my own skin. It doesn't match the image in my mind that I'm comfortable with. For a long time, I felt this was all related to being gay. I thought all lesbians felt the way I do, and realizing more that that is not the case has forced me to analyze what I do feel and what I need to be comfortable in my skin. I'm sure you've noticed that I've been expressing this in the way I dress, and I have felt more comfortable with myself and more confident than I ever thought possible. I want you to understand that I do not assume my gender is incorrect because I like masculine things. Rather, I wear and do masculine things to express the way I feel and my mental image of myself. I'm hoping to take small steps. I'm hoping to take steps to help me achieve a more masculine appearance that I'll feel comfortable with. I mentioned that, I don't necessarily fit society's stereotypes and boxes, but I definitely feel more like a feminine male than a masculine female. I feel a little more secure in that whole thing now, which I wish I had been before I actually wrote this letter. I wish I had been a little more clear. So that's my biggest piece of advice is give yourself a lot of time to be very 100% clear in your wording and exactly how you feel. Because you might think you're very sure, and then in 2 days you might change your mind. So, yeah, essentially be very, 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 very confident in how you feel. Because now I feel like I'm sort of going to have to explain some things a little further, and it's going to be awkward, but we'll see how that goes. Oh, I'm sure I'll update on that eventually when it happens. But, So, and then I basically just said, I, want to present as male. I'm going to be asking people to call me by male pronouns and call me Aaryn, and, this is why I chose the name. If you have any questions, let me know. So that was what I did. And it could have gone better, but it could have definitely gone worse. So I definitely got my point across, even though she wasn't necessarily ready or willing to accept it. And I did also want to talk a little more about that, just how I feel about it. I was pretty upset at first, or disappointed by her reaction. But now that I've had some time to think about it more and, understand her point of view and her side of things, I mean, it was a pretty big deal. And I've had a long time to think about this. This is new for her. So, I mean, she always knew my personality and that I'm a tomboy and that I'm not a typical girl. But most parents, I don't think, automatically assume that their kids are transgender. So it's going to take her some time to come around. And if she knows how I feel, and she told me, if she says that she sees in me these things that I tell her how I feel about the whole feeling like a guy, then, I can work with that. If she at least understands, even if she's not ready to accept it, we can move forward from there. It's not impossible. So I feel a little more optimistic about it now. We're just kind of going on with life. I'm just going to have to show her that I'm still the same person. This is how I've always felt, and that's why I'm not different. I'm not a different person. I'm just figuring out a different way to explain how I feel, or the correct way to explain how I feel, I should say. So, how much time do I have? 1 moment. Okay. I'm cutting it a little close, and I'm a rambler. So, I'll make another video talking about, I'll make another video for the letter I wrote to my close friends, which I feel was pretty effective, all in all, and talk a little bit about that whole thing, that whole part of my coming out, which has been the easiest part, of course, so far. And we'll see from there. I also, I wanted to make another video about, I thought more about what to say to my brother, and I think I'm going to come out to him today, because it's starting to kill me. It's starting to, get under my skin and really make me feel very physically ill, very anxious, and I don't know. I just need to take care of this. And, I really want to come out, all together. I need to do this because it's starting to kill me to be, now that I know what I can do to be happy, it's killing me to not do it. And I know I have to take it slow. I know I have to take it a step at a time, even though it's tempting to just dive into it. But at the same time, I can't come out at all to anybody else at this point until I talk to my brother. And I also just, it's killing me to not tell him. Me and my brother are real close, and it's kind of really killing me to not be honest with him about how I feel. Because this is kind of a big deal. So, I'm going to end this video here, and then I'm going to move on to my other letter. And we'll see what I have time for, how late I feel like staying.